Salut, bonjour, and welcome back to JustDisc. At the beginning of this year, I started to look at my inventory and what I have left of some of my staple discs, some of my disc golf keepers, like my Caiman, Teebird, and Wraith. So I went to my local disc golf store, started looking at some replacements, and once again, what do you know, the same problem exists with Innova. I can't get the type of plastic that I'm looking for. They've changed their star, they've changed their champion, and it's almost as if, they're trying to get you to buy their more expensive Halo plastic. So after a couple years of this, it gets really tiring. I decided to look at some replacements for the Caiman, Teebird, and Wraith, and man, have I found three that I'm really liking. Not necessarily that will replace completely, but man, are they complementing my bag well. Two are MVP, one is Latitude 64. Let's find out. First disc that I'm really enjoying, it's a disc that I can trust more than the Teebird with a similar flight. So it's none other than the Explorer, the Opto X version. One of the main reasons why I wanted the Explorer Opto X was, first of all, a lot of the new Teebirds are just a little bit too domey, too squishy. I found this nice, flat, firm top to be exactly what I was looking for. And specifically, I was looking for something to help me with my forehand, since the forehand has become less reliable. It's not much of a forehand disc for me anymore. I'm getting way too much turn. So I needed something beefy, especially in the wind, and the Explorer Opto X is doing exactly that. It's not a massive disc that you can flex and then fight back, but you can add a little bit of flex into it and it will hold for a while. In terms of the fade back, it doesn't have as much fade back than the Teebird. It actually has a little bit more of a dump. For instance, if I were to flex this pretty good on a forehand, as it starts to fade back, it's very subtle and then it pretty much just drops. So it almost stays straight. But I am very much liking this disc. When it's windy or I need to forehand at that 7 speed, this is the disc that I'm now going for. I also use it for backhands with wind or when I really need to trust that I'm not going to lose it as much to the right. But again, I'm still using the Teebird at times when I really want to work the disc a little bit more or when I want a little bit more distance, since I find the Explorer just doesn't give me as much distance as the Teebird, but the difference is minor. Excellent disc, definitely staying in the bag, and may even beat this one in and carry a second. So the next two discs are MVP discs. And before I get into them, I just want to say, when James Conrad made that holy shot, when MVP blew up and all the amateurs were getting an MVP, I was here saying, you know what, guys, don't jump the gun. They don't necessarily make some of the best discs. Recently, trying just some MVP discs, man, I gotta say, I am enjoying them. There's something about their disc, perhaps it's the gyro. I'm not saying they get more distance, I don't think that's true, but the way that they come out of the hand, as well as their plastic, the neutron plastic, it's really good and it feels very firm, consistent. I love the flat tops. They're definitely doing it right now, so check out MVP if you haven't already. So the second disc that I've been really enjoying this year, and I got because my Caiman, the champion Caimans that I use for forehands, were starting to get a little bit too much turn, especially into a headwind, even though it has a 4 fade. I absolutely love the Caiman. It's great when you beat one in and you can fire it aggressively, get a bit of turn and some good fade back, but it wasn't enough on some windy days and I just couldn't always trust it when I was trying to push it a little bit farther. So I looked around and man, oh man, am I absolutely loving the MVP deflector. A lot of people call this disc a utility disc and it's like a Firebird, and absolutely that is correct at a slower speed. However, the deflector has less glide than the Firebird. I find it wants to dump even more than the Firebird. Also, it really just doesn't have much of a skip finish. It does skip a little bit, but it kind of just stays put, which is very unusual for a very heavy fade disc. So I'm really liking it for almost like lawn dart type shots where you aggressively flex it and then see it fade back and land where you want it to. It's not going to glide once again very far. You're not going to get a lot of distance compared to the Caiman. So it's not replacing the Caiman. It's just adding that much better overstability that I need when I can't trust the Caiman. I will say that it's not a very beginner friendly disc, intermediate, or just someone who doesn't have a lot of power or a forehand. You may not like the deflector, but as for myself, I'm probably going to end up carrying two after I've beaten this one in a bit. It's just so trustworthy. It feels so good to throw and it just complements my Caiman so well. Definitely check it out. Finally, let's get into the third disc I'm loving this year, a distance driver that I've picked up because I was looking to eventually replace the Wraith. I've been trying a few different molds, even tried the Photon by MVP, but that one was just a little bit too much arm for me. So after trying a few different types, I came across the MVP Zenith by James Conrad, and I'm loving this disc. It feels incredible in the hand, feels better than the Wraith. That's just the truth. It has a nice flat top, the Neutron plastic, absolutely loving it. But why am I liking this right now to complement my Wraith is because this disc gives you more control. It's not going to give you as much distance as the Wraith. It doesn't have as much glide as the Wraith. You're not going to get as much turn and fight back as the Wraith, but that's kind of the whole point of this disc. It's very controlled. I hit way better lines, way better gaps with this disc, both forehand and backhand. I can do flex shots, hyzer flips, and hyzer lines, but again, it's not going to fade massively or turn massively. That's not really what this disc does. It's just very controlled, good straight stability, and it just gives me more confidence than the Wraith. So if I'm in a little bit more of a tighter situation, this is when I'm choosing the Zenith. I'll trade just a little bit of distance for less deviation and more control. Being an 11 speed, not everybody should be checking out this disc. If you really want to get it and maybe you don't have the arm speed, check out a lighter version, maybe a base plastic. That should help you get the correct flight. Really a nice disc, super controlled, doesn't deviate, can do different types of shots, and who doesn't like that out of a distance drive? So there you have it, 3 discs I'm thoroughly enjoying this year. Let us know if you bagged them yourself or if you have any other recommendations. Of course, keep in mind, guys, that if you find a mold at your local shop in a plastic that you like, you throw it, you love it, make sure you pick up a few more because you never know how that plastic or mold is going to change over time, and you want to have some backups. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like our content, you know exactly what to do, and we'll see you in the next one. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt.